Buckeyes versus Northwestern for the Big Ten Championship. Quite the enticing matchup we have here. Northwestern, coming off a 3-win season, now finds themselves turning things around real quickly, getting into a Big Ten Championship game after a strong showing against Wisconsin and another one against Iowa earlier this season. But still a team a lot are wondering how real they really are after losing a game to Michigan State and only playing one ranked team all of season. Meanwhile, you got Ohio State, the favorite to come out of the Big Ten entering the season, entering a little bit of controversy themselves here after Michigan canceled their game last week, and the Big Ten had made it known earlier in the season saying, hey, guess what? You don't play 6 games this season, you're not eligible for the Big Ten Championship. They're now going back on that after Ohio State's only played 5 games this season. Is it up in the air, the debate? Do you like and disagree with it? The fact of the matter is, I think you look at it and say, if Ohio State doesn't make you don't look at it, it is how it is. If Ohio State doesn't make this game, Indiana does. Indiana lost to Ohio State, their only loss all season. So you can say, guess what? It doesn't matter. Ohio State beat this team. You put Ohio State in. And I think that for that reason, that's the right call. If Indiana was 6-1 and beat Ohio State, and Ohio State didn't play 6 games, or, if Indiana was 6-2, Ohio State was 5-1, and they beat Ohio State, then I think it's a different story. But because of the fact of the matter is Indiana beat Ohio State, I think you get on this run. Nonetheless, if you're Northwestern here, I think you got to find a way to slow down this Ohio State run game. They allowed 279 yards on the ground to these Bucks last season, and the Buckeyes currently rush for the 7th most yards per game in the nation this season. Teague and Sermon respectively rushing for 4.9 and 6.3 yards per carry between the two of them. If you're the Buckeyes, you have to find a way to slow down Peyton Ramsey and this Northwestern pass attack. I don't think Drake Anderson or Isaiah Bowser pose quite the threat on the ground as Sermon and Teague do. And this is an Ohio State defense that has been solid against the run, but uncharacteristically bad against the pass this season. Currently ranked dead last in the conference, allowing 268 yards per game through the air. And a lot of that has to do with busted coverages, the lack of getting a rush or a pressure on the quarterback here. A defensive line that I don't want to go out and say has been playing poorly. I think it's just, as Ohio State fans, we've grown accustomed to the Bosa's, the Chase Youngs of the world, of having that elite pass rusher on a defensive line, and a defensive line that just straight dominates games through and through. And we haven't quite seen that dynamic of this defensive line out of Ohio State this season, which again makes the secondary's life that much easier. Overall though, I ain't counting Northwestern out of this one. This is an Ohio State team that is typically very strong by the end of the year, but this isn't your typical end of the year, as they've only played 5 games this season, and that's likely played a big role in some of these miscues on the field the Ohio State Buckeyes have had this season. But this is a statement game for Ohio State. This has to be a game that puts little doubt in the college football committee that Ohio State is worthy of being a college football playoff team. And Coach Day has done an excellent job getting his teams ready for the big games here these past couple seasons. I think this is another case here. Ohio State 38, Northwestern 21. That's our thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.